I rise to ask question number 68 of 2017, listed under my name in the order paper for today. The question is directed to the Minister for Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations. Can the Honourable Minister explain the House the importance of mediation in resolving work-related conflicts in Fiji? Thank you.
Thank you. The Minister for Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for his question. Madam Speaker, prior to the years of 2008, when the Employment Relations Act came into being, when it was enacted, this Employment Relations Act was enacted at that time. But before it happened, before that act came in place, our experience has been, in terms of our industrial relations front, there's always been a lot of strikes prior to that period. Our strikes and lockouts was very, very prevalent during this period. And this was due basically because of the adversarial nature of industrial relations, the relationships between employers and the unions that represented them. In those early years, they were very adversarial and very confrontational in terms of the way that they dealt with each other. Between the period 2003 and 2007, there were a total of 60 strikes recorded within that short span of time. The highest number of strikes was recorded in the year 2005, when the country witnessed 17 strikes in just 1 year. So that was prior to the time that this Employment Relations Act, or the Employment Relations Promulgation, came in. They brought in this idea of mediation. The concept of mediation is one in which, when there are two parties in conflict, you put them in front of a mediator who tries to get to them to discuss the issues that they face so that they can both come to a solution they can both be happy with, so it ends up in a win-win situation. Rather than a situation when two parties are in conflict, you put them in front of somebody who decides what the decision will be in the case on the thing that they're arguing about. What we've seen since the inclusion of mediation, since we have set up the mediation center within the Ministry of Labour, that its biggest impact has been on the disputes that led to strikes have drastically declined. And that has been its major impact in Fiji in terms of resolving work-related conflicts. Since the year 2008, after the mediation facility has been put in place, the Ministry has already received about 20 notices to conduct strike ballots, to take strike action. So there was notice that the strike action will be taken. But by using these mediation services, by getting them to sit down with the parties that are on different opinions, the employers and the union leaders on one hand, we have been able to invoke informal mediation, and this has allowed us to avert potential strikes, about 20 potential strikes. So I think in terms of the impact on the country has allowed us to have a much more cordial industrial relations climate. And that, of course, is very important for trying to grow the economy, trying to attract investors into the country so that they can they can see that we have a type of industrial relations climate that is amenable to growth. So overall, since the use of the mediation services in the Ministry of Labour, we've been able to create a much stronger industrial relations climate and a much better way of resolving conflict between the parties that are in conflict. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Honourable Bulletin.
Supplementary question. Can the Minister for Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations explain any recent amendments in the law relating to mediation and how much amendments have assisted Fijian workers?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The amendment to this Employment Relations Act, there were two amendments. Amendments took place in 2015 and again 2016 in relation to mediation. And that was in relation to on grievances between a worker and employer in essential services in industry. That is not a trade dispute shall be dealt in accordance and under the Employment Relations Act, provided that such employment grievance must be lodged or filed with the mediation service of the Employment Ministry within 21 days from the date when the employment grievance first arose. So that has been the major thing, way in which this is affected, especially for those employers that have a grievance. Employees, sorry, Madam Speaker, employees who have a grievance, they can now raise it, and it is for those organizations, whether you come from an organization that is part of the list of the essential service industries or not. For both of those groups of organizations, they can raise those grievances with the ministry. If an organization raises a grievance, or if an employee raises a grievance that covers issues like disadvantage, duress, or discrimination, dismissal, or sexual harassment, those issues are taken immediately to the our mediation unit, which then mediates between the person who has that particular grievance and the employer to try to come to a solution on those areas. And if mediation fails there, then it goes to the tribunal. So mediation has become very important in addressing these grievances. If there are other grievances that about the interpretation of the conditions and the benefits that are specified in the Employment Relations Act, those are not taken up by the mediation unit, but are dealt by our labor standards people. And if it is found that an employer is guilty of what he is charged for, that can be taken up to prosecution. So that, Madam Speaker, is how the amendments have assisted the workers in our country. It has given them a way to try to address the grievances that they have in the best interest of meeting what they need and at the same time dealing with the issues from their own employers. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Dr. Breedlove. Sorry, I give the floor to the Honourable Biman Prasad.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the Minister has talked about the mediation process, but can I ask him how effective has this mediation process been and what, in his view, is the success rate?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the data that I've seen, some of the best mediation centers around the world, and here in Fiji we tend to adhere, and we have learned from the Singapore Mediation Center, which has a global reputation. They have been involved in training our own mediators within my ministry, and now that we have set up the National Mediation Center, they've also been involved in that. Their statistics in terms of what is good practice, in terms of resolving mediation, they say that if you have something around 75%, that is very good globally. Here in Fiji, we exceed that. Our mediation, in terms of the mediation that is within the ministry, the mediators that we have, they have been able to surpass 75%, and I believe that it's now at around more than 80% of all issues that are brought up to our mediation, to our mediators, they are able to resolve it. In other words, they are able to get the parties together, look at the issues, and try to come up with a solution that both parties can live with, so that they can walk away not feeling aggrieved at the solution, but it's something that they participated in coming up with a solution, and because of that, it has the ability to not only resolve the conflict, but also repair the relationship between the two parties. So the best stats that I have at the moment, it's above 80%, the exact percentage. The Honourable Member can get that from me, if he sends that query to me.
Honourable Balminder Singh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the Honourable Minister explain the benefits that an individual worker can derive in utilizing the mediation services under the ministry? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for that supplementary question. Mediation is a way of resolving conflict that relies on one very important thing, and that is good faith. If you don't have good faith in a mediation solution, if one party comes to a mediation and sees it as something to turn up to, rather than to wholeheartedly become engaged in the process, it will not be successful. So that's very important. There must be good faith from both parties, from the aggrieved party and from the party that is or the employer in this case. If both come to the situation and both decide, I'm going to go to this mediation to try to come up with a solution, then there's a high likelihood of solutions. If one party does not have that, then it's not going to work. So some of the distinct advantages or some of the benefits for mediation for an employee, for a worker in this country who goes to mediation. One, it is a process of empowering the employee is empowered to have a situation where he can sit down with his or her employer and talk about the issues that face them. They have the possibility to participate in coming up with a solution. You see, in a lot of times when you have a conflict, you take your case to somebody, and that somebody decides what the solution should be. But in mediation, you have the opportunity to participate in coming up with a final solution. I think that's a great benefit for any worker that has a grievance. You are part of the decision-making process on what happens in your particular case, and you have the ability to be able to develop creative solutions to this. In a normal court system, the way in which conflicts are resolved is more adversarial. But this is like both parties working together towards coming to a common solution that is useful for both of them. The second distinct benefit of mediation, that there is a distinct possibility of win-win. Rather than a third party saying you win and you lose, both parties can come together to a decision that both can live with, so that they both walk away from that conflict situation feeling that they have got something that is of benefit to them. So there's a possibility of a win-win for both parties. I think the third, very important for mediation, is that because you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to pay for lawyers. If there's a process, it's cheaper, and people save money from going through mediation. It's also cheaper in terms of time. There's a possibility, sometimes when you have issues that are taken to courts, they can drag out over years. But if in a good mediation process, these things can be done very quickly. Within the Ministry of Labour, the timeline which we use to try to resolve mediation issues is within 30 days. The other thing is why it's of benefit is that because the process is very confidential. A mediator is expected to be neutral. He's expected to listen to the concerns of both parties, not to take what he hears from one party and share it to the other. He's confidential, stands in between them and tries to clarify any misunderstandings, and through this process of confidentiality, they'll be able to come up with solutions. Seventh good reason why it's a benefit, because you don't need a lawyer to represent you. You can represent yourself, or you can get somebody else to represent yourselves. So as a result of this, the court costs, all the costs that are associated with taking your issue to court are eliminated, and the individual will also not have to worry about the uncertainty of the judge's decision. As the individual himself and the employer, they are in charge of the outcome. They have the opportunity to be able to contribute to the outcome. And I think the last one is that the outcome of mediation gives the individual a sense of ownership and satisfaction. It does not walk away aggrieved, but is happy and motivated to contribute positively to society. So, Madam Speaker, I believe that the rise in the use of mediation. Mediation is now not being only used within the Ministry of Employment. It's also being used by, I think, in other places like Consumer Council. It's now being used in the judiciary also. So the ongoing use of mediation allows us to have these alternative forms of dispute resolution that are not only very useful in terms of resolving conflict, but at the same time, which I think is very important, repairing the relationships between the parties that are in conflict.
Thank you. The Honourable William Mawaka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I note from the comments by the Honourable Minister that the unions are part of the mediation. We are getting reports from our people that employers are putting intense pressure on the workers not to join the union. Can the Honourable Minister give us an indication of what percentage now of the workers are union members? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't have exact figures, but I know that roughly in Fiji, our workforce would be around 350,000 or thereabouts. 60% of that is in the informal sector or in subsistence. Of our formal sector of around 120,000, it would be around 1/4, or about 25 to 27% that are members of the union. So the vast majority of those in the formal sector, that is out of the formal sector, the vast majority, maybe about 75%, are not members of unions. The good thing about the legislation that we now have in place, previously, in previous labour legislations, people had to go to a union to fight their case in the Ministry of Labour. Now it is open. Anybody, whether you're a union member or not, you can bring your grievance to the ministry, and there are mechanisms in processes in place to try to address the grievance that you have.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Nambuluo.
Madam Speaker, the question has been answered.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to ask the Honourable Minister, what if the mediation centre and the aggrieved party have agreed to go to mediation and the other party does not want to come to the table for discussion now? Talk about the issue. What happens in that case, Madam Speaker? Because I've got a case here which I would like to highlight later. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that question. If mediation is mandated by the legislation, then both parties have to attend to the mediation. But mediation will only be successful if there's good faith by both parties. If they genuinely come to the mediation with an attitude of mind that I'm here to try to come up with a solution. If one party comes just for the sake of attending, that is not going to work, because it's a situation in which they both have to agree a solution. Of course, if that fails, and if you're in essential industry, it goes to the arbitration court. If not, if you're not in non-essential, it goes to the Employment Relations Tribunal, where somebody will then impose a decision. But at least, if you go through mediation, it gives you an opportunity to decide what the solution should be. But both parties need to come in good faith.
Thank you. Lastly, Honorable Sullivan Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Minister, for those informative comments. My question is on a 39-year-old gentleman that suffered stroke while at work, and the Ministry of Health Medical Board has ruled that the stroke is not related to the work. So what chances are there for this gentleman, who is now out of work, to bring his case to the mediation table? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Chair, that is a workers' compensation process which has its process. The essence of workers' compensation is that a medical doctor, and now after the amendments that we have passed, I think in the last session, that medical doctor has to gone through the training of how to assess these occupational diseases and injuries. The medical doctor's opinion is paramount. The medical doctor must be able to say that this disease or this injury or this incapacity is because of work itself. If that condition is not met, then there's nothing else that can be done about it. There has to be a proven relationship between the injury or the death and work itself. So I think the workers' compensation legislation is there. The other option, if somebody does not want to come through workers' compensation, they can go through the court system. So those two options are always open to people.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Rumini Nandala.